Ladies and gentlemen, Ukraine is living proof as to why we must immediately lift all gun restrictions in the United States. Let me explain, shall I? Ladies and gentlemen, this is President Biden on why the Second Amendment doesn't work. Let's hear him out, shall we?
Second Amendment from the day it was passed limited the type of people who could own a gun, what type of weapon you could own. You couldn't buy a cannon. Those who say the blood of patriots, and all this stuff about how we're going to have to.
It's the tree of liberty was watered with the blood of patriots. God, jeez, God. Go eat your ice cream.
Move against the government. Well, the tree of liberty is not watered with the blood of patriots. What's happened is that there never been, if you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons. The point is that there's always been the ability to rationally limit the type of weapon that can be owned and who can own it.
Ladies and gentlemen, so number one, he's lying. Understand, when the United States government was first formed, right after the Second Amendment was written, they hired private contractors to go out and fight their battles. And they weren't fighting them with sticks and twigs, baby. Now, let me show you how the Ukraine affects us and should be a booster for the Second Amendment. Let me explain to you what Vladimir Putin could do. I always like to give my own take on these things. Let me show you what he could do. And right now, it honestly might work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the president of Ukraine explaining how they're handing out guns to citizens. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. They've never been armed in their life. They've never picked up a firearm. And now you're going to go against hardened Russian combat troops. But you're desperate and you have no other recourse. So what I'm going to do is read this for you, because it's in he's speaking in his own language and they didn't translate. They just put the words at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it on your cell phone or whatever device you're on. So I'm just going to read it. We are already handing out weapons, and we'll hand them out to anybody who's ready to defend the country, to everyone who wants and has the capacity to defend our sovereignty. The future of Ukraine depends on every citizen. So do you see the failing here? You have a bunch of farmers and such who've never had a firearm, aren't allowed to have firearms. Now you need them to fight for your country. I understand you're saying, hey, Dan, how does this apply to me? Let me explain. So look at our big cities with all these strict gun laws: New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Regular citizens can't own guns. And if things escalate like I'm hearing, and we do go into a conflict, is there something that makes you think Russia or China won't invade America? Do you really think that? Do you think Putin's going to hold back? Putin's an old man. He wants a legacy. A legacy. We have an open southern border. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Dan, all Texans are armed. That's true. We're on the border. But what if because that border goes a long way, what if they rolled into California with the unarmed populace? And then Biden's little, you need F-15s, goes right out the window. You're not going to bomb your own citizens. Or New York or Chicago. No, then you need ground troops. You need armed citizens to fight back. That's why every Second Amendment law right now must be lifted. You should be allowed to have any type of gun you want. Now, coming along with that, it's got to be serious punishment for gun crimes. You committed a gun crime, you get out with no bail? No, you're going away for life. For life. But imagine. And then you have to ask yourself the question, they roll into New York, and we do have heavily armed states. Are the citizens of those states going to take up arms and go to New York to liberate it? Or because of our current political climate, are they going to say, well, you get what you deserve? It's already fractured. I'm not saying I would, not saying I wouldn't, I don't know. But would people? It's like, yeah, you can have New York, whatever, we don't care. Would the United States Army be able to repel a Russian, Chinese invasion? And you have to look at the state of our army. We went from doing hardcore exercises and hardcore PT tests to doing CrossFit. Now, for those of you that do CrossFit, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not what your combat soldiers doing now. The program was so messed up, they haven't had a PT test in 2 years, and they don't predict having one anytime soon. Look at the state of our army. We're posting videos of transgenders. That's our main concern, equity. Equity for blacks and whites. And that's a very important thing in the military. But it shouldn't be the military's main focus. The military's main focus should be engaging the enemy and winning the battle. Look, Russia's they were posting videos of how hardcore their troops are. What were we doing? Equity videos. Our top general got up in front of Congress and said that's his main concern. And then Biden saying you need F-15s and maybe some nukes to take on the army or to take on the United States government. Okay, so Vietnam proves you're a liar. Korea proves you're a liar. Afghanistan proves you're a liar. Iraq proves you're a liar. Iran's back on top. Now they're launching nukes at Israel. You don't know what you're talking about there, old man. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I just wanted to put that in your mind. What would happen? What would be the response? Well, first of all, AOC and the squad would leave New York. They don't care about you. They're going to escape to their little rich person place. You would be on your own. New York, Chicago, LA, you guys got to stand up and change your gun laws. Not only do you have to change your gun laws, you have to become proficient with using your gun. Now, would he invade Texas? No, let me tell you why. There is a gun behind every blade of grass and a sniper behind every tree. These are deer hunters. We're used to shooting long distances. But all this Second Amendment stuff right now needs to go out the window. Tell you, Ukraine learned the hard way. They learned the hard way. Let's not learn the hard way, America. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, share. Keep your powder dry, especially in these days and times, And do what you got to do. Also in the comments below, let me know if you're in one of these super rich states where the Second Amendment is king. If a foreign adversary did take one of our major cities, say New York or Chicago, Austin, well, I think Abbott has been trying to figure out a way to ship Austin to Russia. He wants to pick up the whole city and send it to Russia. I'm just joking. He's not doing that. But would you go to New York and fight? Or would you wait for him to come to you? Which they're probably not going to do. We can't just let the United States fall. So what would we do? We have to change the hearts and minds of the Second Amendment deniers. Is what we have to do. Take a long time. Special shout out to Langley Outdoor Academy, Coleon the War. Been out there fighting this Second Amendment fight for years. And now we see why it's so important. We have corrupt, I thought I was going to end the show. I'm just going to keep talking, people. We have corrupt people in the government who don't want you armed because they're doing things you might shoot them for. We have these corrupt people who can't see past the United States. Has AOC ever left the United States? I have. I've been to the Balkans. Really cold. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's not fun. Texans don't do well in the cold. Anyway, you better not invade in summer, Putin, or we're coming to get you. Now, if you come down to 3 days of winter, we're not leaving the house. But after those 3 days are up, we're on it. But no, we can't let those rights go. I don't care what the AOC say. I don't care what these suburbanites say. Because Putin is not going to invade the middle of nowhere, Texas. He's not going to send 90,000 troops to the Dawson Ranch. All right. So thank you. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, especially in these days and times, keep your powder dry and do what you got to do.